Anyone who knew Cathy Zion as a young girl may not have been able to predict how successful she'd become as an adult. But even before college, Cathy herself had developed a unique set of interests that would combine to form the foundation for just about everything that would come later.
When I was in high school, I became a little bit tweaked by journalism. I wasn't involved in the school newspaper then, but I was I loved English, I loved writing, I loved creative writing. So when I got to college, I then got into journalism and ended up with a double major in journalism and business. And then I went on to get my master's degree in communications.
That educational background gave Cathy plenty of preparation for the first job she held after graduating, serving as editor of the Katie's Record in Trigg County in far western Kentucky. She immediately made an impact, changing a sleepy small-town paper from its former emphasis on social events and obituaries to much more significant news and information. It seemed like the perfect start to a long and promising journalism career. But when Cathy moved to Louisville, she discovered things weren't going to be quite that simple.
Jobs were just tough in the journalism industry. It was just a tough field to get into. So I was able to get a job with the Federal Land Bank in their public relations department. And I stayed there for a couple years in public relations, and I thought, you know, if I'm going to stay in banking, I need to get in the mainstream of banking. So I was able to make a lateral move, writing policy and procedure manuals, and then started getting into the lending, loan review aspects of the Federal Land Bank. So I got several promotions there, ended up a loan review supervisor.
Giving 110% did pay off because it led to Cathy getting an offer from the former Cumberland Bank, where her duties and her compensation grew even more. But even after 21 successful years in the banking industry, she was still restless and open to new opportunities. And it wasn't long before the perfect one came along.
There comes a time in your life when you really kind of reflect on your career and you think, you know, I think there's something more out there for me. I had met the two women who had started Today's Woman and actually had been featured on the cover with other women in banking. So I knew it existed, but when I heard that they were looking to sell, kind of tweaked me. I had just reached 5 weeks of vacation. I was on the senior management team of the bank, had a staff of 65, nice salary, nice benefits, stock options. And I thought, you know, I'm really ready to give all that up. But there was just something tugging at me that said, you know, I need to do this. I need to get out there. I've always been a strong advocate for women's issues, women's rights, and thought, you know, maybe I can make a difference with this magazine.
So Cathy became the new owner of Today's Woman, but it wasn't simply a matter of signing the check and continuing in the magazine's established path. Cathy had a vision of change that would transform the publication into something far more vital than it had ever been.
Being from a business background, I wanted to make it much more business-oriented. Luckily, Anita Oldham, the editor, she kind of tempered that some and wanted to make sure that we were still reaching everybody. So now, you know, we make sure that the focus centers on power, style, connections, and wellness. And we feel like those are really the four key components of women's life. It's all women, regardless of whether you're a single mom, a business owner, a business executive, or a retiree. We want to touch your life and make a difference in your life with our magazines.
To watch Cathy take that magazine and to totally transition it into the strong, woman-focused business magazine that it is today is amazing.
The changes have been evident in more than simply the magazine's focus. The growth has also been spectacular, with huge increases in circulation and staff, and also the genesis of two companion magazines over the years, Today's Transitions and Today's Family. But Cathy's contributions go far beyond the boundaries of her own company. She's also well known for contributing her time and expertise to a long list of community organizations, a duty she takes extremely seriously.
I do believe it's very important to give back. I've always been raised and taught that, you know, we're blessed with a good life, and that means that we have an obligation to share that.
The list of organizations that have benefited from Cathy's involvement includes such diverse groups as Hospice, the Kentucky Commission on Small Business Advocacy, the Lung Association, and the American Heart Association's Circle of Red Leadership Society. But the one thing they all have in common is an enthusiastic appreciation for the contributions she brings to the table.
She's an amazing volunteer. She's tremendous in what she brings as far as the value from a business side, but also from the heart. So she combines that very well. She's not going to give up on anything. She stays with it. She knows that it's a journey, but that every day you push ahead. And that's what she does in her business, and that's what she does for us.
I do like to volunteer, but I have to do it where I have a real passion. And when I do volunteer, I do it 100%.
She's always going to be engaged. She's not one to join a board or a commission and sit quietly. No matter how many times we've reached out and asked for her time or her service, she has always been willing to help, and she's done it with a smile on her face and enthusiasm for the project, and you can't ask for more than that.
How many chances do people get to reinvent themselves and at the same time be consistent in how they give back to their community? Cathy will always do that, whether it's at Today's Woman or some other venture.
She's been a small-town newspaper editor, a big city banker, owner and publisher of a major magazine, and a valued benefactor to her entire community. It's a diverse list of roles, but in playing each of them, Cathy Zion has more than earned the respect and admiration of us all. And it's likely she'll always be remembered just as she hopes to be.
I would really like my legacy to be that I made a difference in the lives of women in this community, that somehow what I have done has touched somebody to be kinder, to be stronger, to be braver, to have accomplished something that they never really thought that they could, and to be a better person.